presentation of the Spartan Media Network.
Steps back in the pocket. Goes the home run ball deep middle. Marsh over the shoulder with a catch. Nick Marsh at the 10-yard line of Maryland. Angles to the right pylon. He's into the end zone. Touchdown, MSU. Lightning in a bottle. Aiden Childs with a home run ball to the young Nick Marsh.
Auto Owners Insurance presents The Jonathan Smith Show. Tonight's show is sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance, simple human sense, and by the MSU Federal Credit Union. Spartan fans dream big with MSU Federal Credit Union. Meijer, the official grocer of Michigan State Athletics. One North Kitchen and Bar, making good times great. Dean Trailways, the official ground transportation provider of Spartan Athletics. Make Dean Trailways your favorite ride. The Michigan Department of Health and Human Services. Raise hope and foster dreams. Start your journey to becoming a foster parent today at michigan.gov/hope for a home. McLaren, official orthopedics and sports medicine partner of Michigan State Athletics. And by Coors Light, mountain cold refreshment. Choose chill. Now with head coach Jonathan Smith, here's Will Tiemann.
And a pleasant good evening to everybody around the great state of Michigan, and welcome into the Jonathan Smith Show. Well, a nice crowd here on hand, and busy week last week, and a real big game coming up on Saturday. So, how's your week? What are you thinking? Maybe we start off there.
Well, yeah, it's a week that stays busy. Obviously, getting ready for a big time opponent coming in this weekend and digesting last week's game. And yeah, those things are tough to swallow, and there's a lot to learn from, some good, some not so good. And so we took the day Sunday, like we typically do, take a look at things, and some positives, missed opportunities at the end of the day, and that was pretty frustrating and all that. But then you got to bounce forward and go, because like I said, Indiana's really playing at a high level, really confident in all three phases. I mean, they're scoring points in bunches and playing some good defense, and they haven't lost a game. They haven't trailed in a game. Eight games they have not trailed to an opponent yet, and so we got a big time challenge coming up on Saturday.
By the way, so I don't forget it. Since I am sitting next to maybe the only Dodger fan in the room, not bad, huh? 3-1?
3-1, yeah. Couldn't get it done last night, and we'll see what tonight looks like. But we'd rather be 3-1 than 1-3. I know that. Yeah,
you got that right. By the way, we're live at One North Kitchen and Bar in Lansing. If you want to join us in our live audience for any of the MSU coaches shows, just make a reservation by emailing Caleb at onenorthdining.com. And by the way, we do have a mic up here. We don't have to wait for a certain segment. If you got a question for Coach, just come on up. And so when we get going in here, we're going to talk a little bit about Indiana, a little bit about what it means. And it's really a game with a lot of history on the line. And for Indiana, this is one of the biggest games they have played in so long. And we'll talk a little bit about that. So we'll be back with more of the Auto Owners Insurance Coach Jonathan Smith Show after this on the Spartan Media Network.
So, got one for you, boss.
Oh, yeah?
What's black, white, and dented all over?
I give up.
The company truck. I know, but thanks to our agent, we've already submitted an insurance claim and can track the status right from the app. Auto Owners pays what they owe without any hassle.
Lucky for you, that's simple human sense.
Ask your independent agent if Auto Owners makes sense for you.
Calling all Spartans. Global healthcare leader Abbott, MSU, and the Big Ten need you to donate blood for the We Give Blood Drive competition. Your donation can save up to 3 lives, as well as make MSU the Big Ten champion of blood donation. For more information and to find out how you can make your donation count for MSU, please visit big10.org/Abbott or contact Versity or your local blood donation center to sign up for a local upcoming blood drive.
From the biggest of big games to the littlest of the little.
There you go. Go!
Run, James!
No, first base!
Go, go, go!
Whenever you shop Meijer, you help support hundreds of local sports teams across the Midwest. From some of the biggest stadiums in the state to the familiar fields down the street. You're helping make a difference to the people and places you call home. Learn more at Meijer.com/community.
Hey Spartans, when it's game time, it's One North time. Just minutes from Michigan State University, One North Kitchen and Bar is your go-to spot for scratch cooking and world-class hospitality. When you're celebrating a win or catching up with friends, we've got the perfect dish to make every moment special. Join us for the MSU Coaches Shows and get closer to the action with the voices that bring Spartan spirit to life. Visit One North, where Spartan pride meets memorable meals.
And welcome back. We're live in Lansing for the Jonathan Smith Show, presented by Auto Owners Insurance. And for hunting and fishing to trail riding, nothing tackles Michigan terrain like the Can-Am Defender. If Michigan is your turf and you need this ride on your roster. Visit canamoffroad.com/defender to learn more. Can-Am, proud sponsor of Michigan State University Athletics. Well, we have our first phone caller before we go to an audience question. Denny, welcome to the Coach's Show.
Thanks a lot, Will. Hey, Coach, how you doing?
Yeah, doing solid.
I just wonder, I know you had a big rivalry with Oregon, and I just wondered if you compare that rivalry to the one with Michigan. Now that you've been up there, maybe you just like them a little bit more than you did before you went up. And the second part of my question is, talk about the onside kick. How did it come about, and what you thought of it, and good luck against Indiana.
Yeah, I appreciate the call. Start with the rivalry, now being able to experience that thing fully, right? You got a lot of lead up, learned a lot about leading into it, but then truly experiencing that is a passionate rivalry and a place that, you get emotions and all that. I give credit to our players. I felt like throughout the game, they did a good job of kind of controlling that. We came out from the start ready to play, moving the ball and all of that. And obviously frustrated, a tough game to come up short on one game that we won't soon forget, but we do got to kind of move forward. On the onside kick, there's actually multiple pictures we felt watching the tape leading into the game that there was a advantage to be taken on. There's some risk with that, but the way they lined up, the way we were lining up early on in the game, when we did it, we were down 6 points and more or less trying to steal a possession, and we felt like the time was there. We just didn't get it recovered. The ball went further than we anticipated, and it was actually an up back for them that recovered it. That we didn't see the ball going that far, so we just didn't execute it very well.
So, Denny, thanks a lot for the phone call. Well, one of the things in the post game, Coach and I talked about it as we went through the game. I mean, sometimes it's hard to reflect on some great performances when you're a little disappointed. But the guy who is our network player of the week had a fabulous game, and here's Dalton Shetler.
Tonight's Michigan State Player of the Week is number 5, Nate Carter. The redshirt junior from Rochester, New York, ran his heart out last week, carrying the ball 19 times for 118 yards and a touchdown.
4th and a half a yard. Nate Carter slides through, busts through the goal line.
Yes.
He's into the end zone. Touchdown, MSU. Nate was a man possessed on that carry.
Nate Carter averaged over 6 yards a carry last week to go along with that Spartan score. Once again, your Michigan State Player of the Week, Nate Carter.
Nate Carter, what a game he had on the big stage. 118 yards rushing, as Dalton said. And at the end of the day, you got yourself a 2,000-yard running back who knows how to play.
Yeah, he really ran with determination in that game. You look at a lot of his carries. Obviously, that was a short yardage one to score, but hard runs, make a couple guys miss on his carries, but also the way he caught it. I mean, 2 huge plays catching the ball, especially late. He had a low catch, made a couple of guys miss, broke a tackle, stayed up and converted. Made 2 catches for 50 yards. So he had a big-time game. And we got to continue to need that from him, more than capable, and he's continued to show it week in and week out. He can do some special things, and so it was nice to see him on Saturday have some success.
Well, the running game though has been pretty good last couple
of weeks. It has.
Yeah.
I think we're kind of hitting our stride and all of that. Both those backs, I think the O-line continues to get more and more comfortable, and so we're having some success in the run game. That definitely helps your passing game, helps your quarterback, helps our balance, what we're looking for. And so now we just need to continue to see that production, the movement of the ball, turn into more and more points.
And so I was just interested. Okay, when you were a quarterback, and it's just imagine a passing play, you're in the pocket, and the blocking's okay. Okay. How long do you have to throw the ball and find a receiver? 1 second, 3 seconds, 4 seconds?
Anything past 3 seconds, you're holding on. You need protection to get past 3 seconds. A lot of this, this day and age, this thing happens quick. And so, especially now that we're in the shotgun, right? Back in the day, you're under the center, you drop back, and that's taking a little time. Now the ball's coming immediately to you in the range of about 3 seconds to get the thing out of your hand. And some of that's going to depend too on how many you're protecting with, right? If you're protecting just with the 5 linemen, well, less time. Well, if you're adding in the running back and adding in the tight end, sometimes in pass plays, you should have a little bit more time, and that's usually longer developing routes and all that. But again, it's a feel at quarterback, and I think Aiden's made some strides. He's continued his completion percentage the last couple of weeks has continued to improve. Some of that's because of the protection. A lot of it's the route running, and guys are separating. So strides are there, but we want to continue to throw the ball on time. Going back to your question, because you can't hold it forever.
And so I'm just trying to imagine. Okay, let's say I have 3 seconds. How many people is he looking at on any given normal route?
Yeah, that's a good question. A lot of times you're going to try to eliminate maybe half the field or a particular receiver pre-snap before that ball even gets into your hands, right? Depending on what coverage you're seeing. If they're playing 2 safeties, this usually means that these routes are going to be better against that one safety. If they're playing man-to-man coverage usually dictates. He's very rarely you're asking a guy to go from truly all 5 potential receivers on a post-snap read.
I've often thought hitting a fastball in the major leagues was the most difficult thing, and some people think that. I'm trying to imagine having 3 seconds to look over 3 or 4 guys and then throw it to them.
Oh, yeah, and those guys that are hunting you down, the game continues. How big, strong, fast, athletic those guys are. Some of the defensive disguise continues to evolve, and it's not an easy thing. And that's why you try to keep it a little bit simple on the quarterback. Hey, it's this guy to that guy in this progression, and again, I go back to our guy. Aiden's continued to grow.
And so you mentioned, Jonathan, the last couple games, over 70% completion rate, interception rate down. As you look at game 1 through the Michigan game, how much better has he gotten?
He's gotten a lot better. He really has. And again, I go back to this whole offense. The last 2 weeks, we go back to that bye and reset and really taking a good look at our first 6 games and what we've been able to do the last 2. I mean, it's totally different. I think there's a confidence level. The physicality has gone up. And again, we early in that year, we're playing with a lot of guys in their first kind of year starting. Not all the guys, but a lot of them. And the first time together doing it. And that's what we were hoping. We're hoping to play our best football in November, the way we've approached this thing, and counting on that starting this Saturday. But so offensively, Aiden himself, I think this run game, you look at where Nick Marsh continues to go and the receiver play continues to get better and better. We got to stay on this direction.
I still think one of the amazing things is I think we play pretty cohesive football. And how do you do that with 61 new guys?
Yeah.
It's not like he added like 20 new people.
I think it's a lot of credit to these players and the leadership we've got. These guys continue to fight and do it together and pick each other up. Even the segments, offense, defense, need to play, need to stop. Look at, we got down 14 points in this game this last Saturday. And we don't do a great job special teams to start on the ball on the 5-yard line. Offense knows we need to get something done. We go down and get that done, right? Get it within 7. Defense takes the field. They get a 3 and out. We turn around and get the ball around the 50. Now it turns into being able to finish, and we weren't able to finish in the last couple of minutes.
I do want to talk about one injury, and it could be a big one. When your long snapper goes down,
Okay,
that's a big injury. How's he doing?
That was tough. Yeah, he's probably going to be done for the year, and he's been doing great. I mean, when you're not talking about the long snapper, right, that's a good thing, and he'd been lights out. And you think about some of Jonathan Kim's success and how well we're punting the ball, but he'll be out for a while. And Jack came in and did a good job. He snapped once in that game, long snapping, and he'll have to do a great job again this Saturday coming up with all the snaps.
You're right, though. We weren't talking much about the long
which
snapper.
is a really good thing.
It's a good thing, yeah. By the way, our show today comes to you live from One North Kitchen and Bar in Lansing. One North Kitchen and Bar offers outdoor seating, curbside pickup, and don't forget all of the MSU coaches shows. Make your reservation by emailing Caleb at onenorthdining.com. And also, Spartan fans, gear up for the MSU FCU Visa credit card. Featuring the Spartan helmet, it is a perfect way to show your Spartan pride while earning cash back on every purchase. Apply now at msufcu.org and make every purchase a proud Spartan moment. Well, we're going to get ready now for our trivia question. You can think about this during our break coming up. This weekend, as we mentioned, we're going to be playing the Indiana Hoosiers. The longest pass play in Spartan football history against Indiana came 30 years ago. It was a 93-yard pass from Tony Banks to which Spartan receiver? That's our question. 93 yards, 30 years ago. Seems like just yesterday. So anyway, if you're in the audience and you want some tickets for the Indiana game, you can step up to our mic and tell us who the person is. So we're going to have some more conversation with Coach Smith. And, of course, we'll give you our trivia answer right after this as you're listening to the Auto Owners Insurance Jonathan Smith Show.
The U.S. is experiencing the worst blood shortage we've seen in 20 years. Give blood this season, and you can help save up to 3 lives each time. Join me and Abbott so we can save more lives together. Let's make Spartan Nation the #1 blood donor in the Big Ten.
For a child in your...
Join me as I take a deep dive into the least insulted ticketing app in history, SeatGeek. Did SeatGeek invent the ticket?
No, but we do make them work.
Drum roll, please. Ooh, how do I use the seat view feature?
It shows seats with a pole blocking the view. Don't buy those.
What if I want to sit behind a pole?
Buy those.
Join me as I bore you to death with a series of interviews about a ticketing app that just does what it's supposed to do.
We've already submitted a claim and can track
The U.S. is experiencing the worst blood shortage we've seen in 20 years. Give blood this season, and you can help save up to 3 lives each time. Join me and Abbott so we can save more lives together. Let's make Spartan Nation the #1 blood donor in the Big Ten.
Game time, it's One North time. Just minutes from Michigan State University, One North Kitchen and Bar is your go-to spot for scratch cooking and world-class hospitality. When you're celebrating a win or catching up with friends, we've got the perfect dish to make every moment special. Join us for the MSU Coaches Shows and get closer to the action with the voices that bring Spartan spirit to life. Visit One North, where Spartan pride meets memorable meals.
Rocket met with first-time home buyers to get real about buying a home.
When you don't understand the process, you don't know what steps to take.
Money is just scary to begin with. There's so many question marks.
I wish there was like a home ownership coach out there.
My name's Austin. I'm an executive at Rocket. We're doing a lot, but we can do more just listening to you today.
Get real solutions to real concerns. Call 800-4ROCKET.
Rocket Mortgage LLC, NMLS number 33, NMLSconsumeraccess.org, equal housing lender license in all 50 states.
Well, we are back on the Jonathan Smith Show presented by Auto Owners Insurance. And by the way, this week's Alumni Hall Spartan Ticket Football Trivia Giveaway, the winner gets a couple tickets to the Indiana game coming up on Saturday at Spartan Stadium. And you can pick up your tickets at the Alumni Hall retail location at Eastwood Town Center in Lansing. So it goes to somebody in the audience. And before I get much further, can we hear a round of applause for the schedule makers? We absolutely get to see the sunshine during a football game. Yeah. How about that, huh?
No doubt.
5 straight night games. That's got to be some crazy record. Anyway, okay. Enough of that. Indiana's coming into town. The question is, 30 years ago, Tony Banks hooked up with somebody for a 93-yard touchdown. That's the longest we've ever had against the Hoosiers. The question is, who was the receiver?
That would be Nigeria Carter.
I think she's right. Nigeria Carter was a good one. We've had some great receivers here, and that was something. Have you seen the old brass spittoon up close yet?
Not well. Pictures of it. We've been talking about it a little bit with the team and all of that. So anxious to get my hands on it. I know that.
They need to sterilize that sucker. that is for sure. Okay, so as we kind of go through this thing, as you look at Indiana, I mean, obviously they're the surprise team of the country, actually. And after they had won a couple games, you're thinking, oh, that's kind of fun. They're winning a couple games. And you keep waiting for the other shoe to drop, and it hasn't dropped yet. And winning at UCLA, I thought was a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
In destroying Nebraska.
Yeah, Nebraska helped them out with giving the ball 5 times too. But it is hard to win in this day and age. College football, Big Ten especially, it is hard to win. So it's impressive for these guys to be sitting here 8-0, playing with a lot of confidence. It does start, offensively for them. They can beat you in a lot of ways. They got some good receivers. They got good backs. They got good balance on offense. I mean, they're second in the country in scoring points right now. I think it's 5th overall in total offense, and it's a pretty good mix divide, run to pass there, yardage-wise. So they've done a really good job there. And then defensively, they stress you, and they've been putting in some situations then defensively when they've had leads. They've done a great job of controlling that, keeping everything in front, making you eat up the clock. You look at their turnover ratio. I think they only turn it over about 6 times the entire year, so the ratio has been really nice week in and week out. And so they're playing really good football, and it is, in my mind, a great opportunity for us to turn the page here, get ready for a big-time opponent. We're going to need another big-time crowd, Spartan Stadium, 3:30 kick, and make this thing a home field advantage for these guys.
And the one thing they seem to have done in this stretch they really are playing some nice complementary football.
They are. They've got some stops when they need it. Not every game has been a blowout. You look at some of these games on tape. Even Northwestern takes them into the fourth quarter. Last week they're playing Washington. That game's kind of tight. Washington gave them the ball a couple of times, and then they did a nice job offensively, just eating the clock out in the second half. And so we got to find ways to get them off the field, get them out of rhythm a little bit, get them into some longer down and distances to slow that thing down.
One of the fun stats when you look at who's the leading scorer in the Big Ten, obviously Jonathan Kim has kicked a lot of field goals. Well, he's gone back and forth with his Indiana kicker, who's only kicked a handful, but he has over 50 extra points.
Yeah.
Think about that. He doesn't have to kick field goals, just kicks extra points.
Yeah, they've had some games. I mean, one of them's in the 70s, non-conference type thing, but they've had some games in the 50s, and when you got your place kicker, that's a bunch of extra points.
And so as you look at this one, and I think this is probably something players have been through, coaches have been through. You have a tough loss like at Michigan. It's disappointing. And there's always that fear that one loss becomes 2.
Yeah, we've talked about it a little bit, and I'm confident with, and just watching us practice the last couple of times. I mean, these guys got together as players on Sunday, kind of to digest that kind of topic and things. And so you got to turn the page and regroup. We've talked about it at the beginning of the season. The week in and week out, it's its own life, right? And each game's its own life, and then you got to win, lose, draw, learn from it, get better, and you get a chance to line up again. And we're looking forward to it. Another chance back at home, big time opponent. To take a step, and I know these guys will be prepared and excited to play.
There was a weird thing that happened, and I've seen it on TV in the Southeastern Conference. I've not seen it in a Big Ten game live. There's a timeout, and the whole stadium goes pitch black. I mean, all lights are out. It's dark.
Yeah.
Have you ever been through a deal like that?
Well, we had some blackout this last weeknight game and all of that, and I'm all about the fan experience and the new day and age and creating those kind of things. But when it completely black for a longer period of time in between, like a TV timeout, those things are 3 minutes now. You're trying to make some adjustments. It's not ideal to be coaching in the dark.
Here's my iPad. It's the only light I got. Yeah. Anyway, don't forget global healthcare leader Abbott. MSU and the Big Ten need your help donating some blood for the We Give Blood Drive competition. Let's make MSU the Big Ten champion of blood donation. To find out more, visit big10.org/Abbott or contact a local blood donation center to sign up today. And don't forget, whenever you shop at Meijer, you shop for the entire community. You help support food rescue programs and the Simply Give program. Learn more at Meijer.com. Well, we're going to be back with more of Spartan football on the Auto Owners Insurance Jonathan Smith Show after this on the Spartan Media Network.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Dad. Did you get a new haircut or something? A new shirt? You're looking good.
What happened?
A little fender bender?
How little?
A few days in the shop little, but thanks to Mom and our agent, we've already submitted a claim and can track the status right from the app. Auto Owners pays what they owe without any hassle.
Sounds like simple human sense.
I'm fine, by the way.
Oh, yeah, I was going to ask.
Ask your independent agent if Auto Owners makes sense for you.
I love getting out and trying new things. But my seizures have always kept me back. Thankfully, the providers and researchers at MSU Healthcare work together to get my epilepsy under control. So now I can try anything.
At MSU Healthcare, helping you do you is what matters most to us. In fact, it's our mission. Visit healthcare.msu.edu to find a provider.
From our farm fields to the football field, Michigan soybeans touch every life, every day. From the food we eat to the products we use and the cars we drive, soybeans are making an impact. The Michigan Soybean Committee is dedicated to helping our farmers grow the soybeans needed for a more sustainable future while working at the forefront of innovation to develop new uses. To learn more about the Michigan Soybean Committee's initiatives, please visit us at michigansoybean.org.
Skill is a game changer. And when the doctors you know and trust team up with one of the nation's top health systems, the possibilities are endless. Sparrow is now University of Michigan Health Sparrow. So together, we can bring more specialized expertise, more of the latest treatments, and more of the best possible care closer to you. Discover what's possible at uofmhealthsparrow.org.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you're planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
And welcome back to the Auto Owners Insurance Coach Jonathan Smith Show. And this week's upcoming game day co-sponsor is the Michigan Soybean Committee. By the way, if you want to talk to Coach, our number to call is 877-535-1678. 877-535-1678. Well, this guy sitting next to us now, linebacker Darius Snow, is our player guest. And when I look at him, I feel really old because I actually did basketball games his dad played in. Anyway, welcoming to the show. Can I tell you a story about your dad?
Go ahead.
Okay. You may have heard this one. Obviously, his father, Eric, had this wonderful NBA career. He really did. What, 13, 14 years? 14. Pretty good. 14. Yeah. And he was a point guard, and he was next to this guy named Respert. They were unbelievable. But he had one flaw in his game, and that is he couldn't make a free throw. And so we're at Iowa one game, and he did the hack-a-shack on your dad. And I'm not kidding you. Judd wouldn't take him out. And every time we went to the free throw line, he missed. And they came down and made every shot they made. And Iowa wins the game. So here's what Judd Heathcote says in the press conference. Don't even ask me. I'm going to tell you. He's going to make a free throw. I just don't know what season. So you can tell your dad I exposed him with that story. That was a good one. So how you been?
I'm good, boss. Thanks for asking. How about you?
I've been good. Feeling better. Getting ready for Indiana a little bit. And it was pretty interesting. And it's something I was just curious about. He got off, Darius, to do a really great start. And then he got hurt. And then there was a hard time, it seemed like, getting back. So can you take us through what you've gone through to get back on the field?
Long story short, obviously, like you said, I got hurt. It was a tough injury, and then I got to a point where I was capable of going out and playing, but I wasn't close to 100%. And I tried it, but I had to pull back and essentially not play the rest of that year because I wasn't ready. But thankfully, really this winter, getting into the spring, I was getting back to myself, and I'm able to play now. So I'd say that the hardest part was, like you said, I was doing really well, and then for it all to just like kind of stop because of that. But that's life, though. So, the biggest thing for me is just attacking the next day.
And one of the things I think you've done that's pretty impressive. I mean, let's face it, if you're a football player, you want to be on the field, you want to be a star, you want to be in the middle of the action. But as we talked about the long snapper, when the long snapper, the unknown guy, goofs up, everybody knows who it is. When special teams don't quite get the job, then people find out who they are. And you've done a great job on these special teams.
I appreciate that. What do
Yeah.
you think, Coach?
Yeah, heck
You
yeah,
think-
man.
Thanks, man. Thanks, man.
Special teams player of the week a couple weeks ago, man. Multiple spots,
Yeah.
not just on one, segment, whatever it's kickoff or punt return, punt, and all of that, and contributing it. And the last couple of weeks, the linebackers, been playing quite a bit, and we've been doing some good things against the run game on defense.
We talk a lot about NIL and things like that, but sometimes you lose sight of the fact that it is a university and people do graduate. And you've done a pretty good job. All Big Ten academic. How many degrees are you going to have when you leave this place?
I don't know, man. Depends on if I come back another year. We'll try to make it 4.
We'll just call you Dr. Snow.
Man. I will say that, like you said before, I think a lot of people kind of forget the fact that, you are a student athlete. And my dad's always said, if you get it for free, you might as well take advantage of it. So that's what I've always done.
He's a smart guy.
Yeah.
So, okay, you're here. You've been here a while. And in comes this brand new staff. Coach Jonathan Smith from Oregon State, and he brings these new people with him. How was that transition?
It wasn't as difficult as you probably think, as it may seem on the outside. From my personal, I guess you could say, my personal standpoint, I'd had Coach Smith as my 4th head coach or 3rd head coach, and I've had Coach Rossi, who's our DC, is my 5th position coach. So I mean, I've experienced change before. Obviously, with Coach Smith coming in, it was a whole new regime, and that was something that took some getting used to. But to be honest with you, how Coach Smith runs it is kind of similar to how Coach G had it when I first got here, ironically. But it wasn't as difficult as it may seem on the outside. I think Coach Smith made it really easy for us.
Well, what's your uncle doing these days?
He's in Canton, Ohio. I haven't talked to him in a minute, but he's back home. That's where my dad and their family are from.
Of course, his uncle's Percy, won the Buckus Award, All-American football player, and so your bloodline's pretty good. You're doing pretty good. So when you kind of look at the big scheme of things, the defense I think has played pretty well. So what has been the magic there to play? And sometimes I think we get caught up on stats too much. You guys seem to play well at the right time, and there seems to be a unity there, a little camaraderie there that you can play fast and everybody gets it done. Not too many mistakes. What has been the key there?
I think the biggest thing for us is about, we have goals going in each week and some points of emphasis, but I think the biggest thing for us is everybody owning their 1/11th. We always talk about playing with how, which means running to the ball, and not just running to the ball, but, really exercising everything you have and what you have to do that play. And I think that when you do that collectively as a group, it really shows. I think when you ask people who watch the game, you ask the commentators and other coaches, they say, what do you think about Michigan State's defense? I always say they play really hard. And that's not just this year. That's Michigan State of the past. That's always been what Michigan State defenses are. So I think the biggest thing for us is we always have played hard. But playing hard is one thing. Another thing is executing, doing your job. I think especially these past few weeks, we've been able to do that for the most part. So it shows.
So what's Coach Smith like on the sideline? He's so calm and nice here. I mean, what's he like during the game?
Pretty much the same, right?
No. He's exactly how he looks right now.
There you go. Without a ball cap. Without a ball cap. Yeah. Well, when we come back, can you stay for a little longer?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
I ain't got nothing going on. As long as we out here before 8, got some baseball to watch.
There you go.
Yeah, it's Man, Dodgers fans everywhere. All two of them are right here.
Nah, I'm a Philly fan. Don't get it twisted. I just like baseball.
I'm sorry about that, by the way.
It's okay. Don't bring it up.
By the way, raise hope and foster dreams by starting your journey to become a foster parent today. Visit michigan.gov/hope for a home to learn more on how you can support children of all ages in your community. We will return for more of the Jonathan Smith Show presented by Auto Owners Insurance after this. You're on the Spartan Media Network.
So, got one for you, boss.
Oh, yeah?
What's black, white, and dented all over?
I give up.
The company truck. I know, but thanks to our agent, we've already submitted an insurance claim and can track the status right from the app. Auto Owners pays what they owe without any hassle.
Lucky for you, that's simple human sense.
Ask your independent agent if Auto Owners makes sense for you.
When you're a foster parent, you play a lot of roles.
Provider, giving a foster child a safe home, healthy meals, and hope.
You're always there.
You're a cheerleader. Your family. You would do anything for a child in your care.
Every day is different. Every need is different. But one of the most impactful roles you can play in life is being a foster parent. See why at michigan.gov/hope for a home. A message from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services.
Hey Spartan fans, the 2024 basketball season is tipping off, and SeatGeek is here to help you experience all of the action. SeatGeek makes it easy to find tickets so you can be a part of all the courtside celebrations this season. Whether you're buying or selling tickets to MSU basketball games or to any other live event in the state, SeatGeek is the place to do it. SeatGeek is the official ticket marketplace of the Spartans. The most disruptive idea in ticketing, a ticket that works. Expect the expected. SeatGeek.
Is joint pain slowing you down? Imagine waking up and moving through your day pain-free. The orthopedic and sports medicine specialists at McLaren are experts in the latest surgical and non-surgical advances to relieve joint pain and restore movement so you can rediscover the activities you love. We'll help you get back to what moves you. McLaren, the official orthopedic and sports medicine partner of Michigan State Athletics.
And we're back live for the Jonathan Smith Show, presented by Auto Owners Insurance. And don't forget, Ducker Brothers Distributing is proud to support this year's Green Team at Spartan Stadium. They will be helping clean Spartan Stadium, concluding each home game this season. So let's lend them a hand by keeping Spartan Stadium green and clean and disposing of trash in the concourse receptacles. Well, our player guest, Darius Snow, is hung around for an extra segment. Well, we've talked a little academics. We've talked some football, touch of baseball. And one thing we've not talked about is one of his hidden talents. And he has earned a degree in graphic design, and he has helped the football creative team with graphics and posters. So how does a big, tough guy get into something like this?
Big. So when I moved around a lot, but when in 8th grade, I went to a school in Florida called Don Estrick. It was a tech school. I'd always been creative. If you ask my parents, I used to always draw stuff. And in 8th grade, I got introduced to the Adobe Suite, which is what I use to design. I had a class that essentially walked us through it. That was my introduction to it. And then in high school, when I was getting recruited, I essentially just would ask like designers at every school I went to. I'd spend like 30 minutes with them, be like, hey, how do you do this? How do you do that? And then I just picked up as we went. It was pretty cool.
So do you have a favorite project?
Overall, I did one for our Peach Bowl in 2021 that was based off of the Spider-Man No Way Home movie. And I essentially took that style but made it Michigan State themed, and it actually turned out pretty cool. That's probably my favorite looking back on it.
Okay, I know parents usually say, well, he's going to go wherever is right for him, but was there any doubt, given your background, you were coming to Michigan State?
I wouldn't say it was more about, I mean, my dad, everybody always says, it seems pretty obvious that I would have went here, but my dad truly, he didn't push me here at all. And I considered every option. In fact, the top schools that I had They very much were even with Michigan State going into the end. I just felt that this was the best opportunity for me, not just because of my family lineage, but for me as a student and as an athlete. So that's why I chose here.
So we haven't talked about the mental part of this, your comeback after the injury. To get yourself right mentally, was that hard?
Yes, because I like to do everything fast. So with my injury, everything had to go slow. So I essentially had to rearrange my thought process. But I mean, at the end of the day, when my dad worded it, which is true, he'd say, it's still work, just a different kind of work. So I got to get used to it and then get to work.
Gotcha. Well, you're part of the new Big Ten, and you've got to experience going to Oregon, and there's more coast-to-coast trips coming up for everybody. So what do you think about that?
It's cool. It's different. It's different. I mean, if you would have asked me when I first started playing football in 10th grade, how I would think about or what the Big Ten would look like and say, what is it, 7 years from then, I wouldn't have imagined that you have these West Coast schools in the Big Ten. But, football is progressing and college football is changing. So it's cool. I'd say that, you talk about the Rose Bowl and games where, like, those are the only times you'd ever see the Big Ten teams out there on the West Coast playing games. And now you see it every week. I will say the flights aren't fun, but it's definitely a cool experience. You get to see some new environments, and I think it's definitely bringing a new aspect to the game.
Do you like it?
I do like it. I do. I like everything about it. I mean, those are schools that I used to watch. Really, to be honest with you, only the highlights because I was never up that late.
True.
But it's definitely something that's new and cool to do.
After our Ohio State game, Darius, I said to Coach, I said it was really weird. I got home because UCLA was hosting Oregon. And it seemed so odd to me to see those guys play, and as they're going up and down the field, seeing a Big Ten logo in the Rose Bowl. That was just odd. And I guess it'll take some time to get over that, but it still seems a little odd. But that's just the way it is. And so as you go through this journey, how's it been for you? I mean, this is a journey.
That's really the way to describe it, as a journey, because that's what it's been. I mean, you look at when I came here to where I'm at now, I definitely couldn't have imagined I'd be where I'm at right now. I would have went through what I went through right now. But at the end of the day, I can look back and say I've always come out on top, everything that I went through. And that's the most important thing.
Well, I appreciate you joining us. Do you want to say anything to him or ask anything else?
I mean, just what a first-class act example of, kind of what we're trying to create and build here. This guy is truly epitomizes that on and off the field, way he operates in the locker room, in the classroom, well-spoken. I mean, couldn't be more proud of the guy.
Yeah, you're doing pretty good. You're doing pretty good.
Thanks, man. I appreciate
Let's hear it for Darius Snow.
Yep, thank you.
You're listening to the Auto Owners Insurance Coach Jonathan Smith Show.
From the biggest of big games to the littlest of the little.
There you go. Go! Run, James! No, first base! Go, go, go!
Whenever you shop Meijer, you help support hundreds of local sports teams across the Midwest. From some of the biggest stadiums in the state to the familiar fields down the street, you're helping make a difference to the people and places you call home. Learn more at Meijer.com/community.
At the Capital Region International Airport, we connect our community to the world with nonstop service to Washington, D.C. and Chicago on American Airlines, Detroit on Delta Airlines, and Orlando on Avelo Airlines. When you fly Lansing, you're just one stop away from over 500 global destinations. And with direct flights to Cancun, Punta Cana, and Montego Bay starting in January, your escape to beautiful tropical beaches is easier than ever. The Capital Region International Airport, your gateway to the world. Visit flylansing.com for more information and to book your flight today.
Craving new adventures, Can-Am has you covered. From hunting and fishing to trail riding, nothing takes Michigan terrain like the Can-Am Defender. Stack your lineup now with the power and versatility of this side-by-side vehicle. Features like 1,000 pounds of cargo capacity and HVAC let you maximize your playing time year-round. If Michigan is your turf, you need this ride on your roster. Get yours today and get off the sidelines. Visit canamoffroad.com/defender to discover the Defender lineup from Can-Am. Proud sponsor of Michigan State University Athletics.
When you're a foster parent, you play a lot of roles.
Provider, giving a foster child a safe home, healthy meals, and hope.
You're always there.
You're a cheerleader. Your family. You would do anything for a child in your care.
Every day is different. Every need is different. But one of the most impactful roles you can play in life is being a foster parent. See why at michigan.gov/hope for a home. A message from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services.
We're live from Lansing for the Jonathan Smith Show, presented by Auto Owners Insurance. And frankly, you want to join us for the Michigan Sports Brief every weekday on the Spartan Media Network stations across our great state, presented by Frank & Muth Insurance. Start a frank conversation about your insurance with one of our local independent agents by visiting fmins.com. And by the way, we have a question. Fire away.
Hi, Coach. Tough effort last Saturday, but I see the team improving. There's a lot to grow, lot of room to grow there. But welcome. It's probably good that you got a taste of it early. But welcome to the Big Ten, and it's blatantly double standard. I guess I'll put that, and I don't need you to comment on that, but you had the benefit of bringing a lot of coaches with you, your assistants from Oregon State, and that's excellent. You had the advantage of already knowing them. But when you're hiring assistants, what are the things you look for, and what's different about hiring a coordinator?
Yeah, that's great questions. Appreciate you saying that. We're coming along and things. It was able to bring a good core of guys with me that are deeply rooted, right? Shared experience over multiple years and all those things. But then when you start looking at adding to them, right, hiring and what you're looking for, it really there's a couple of different ways I think about things. But we're looking for in general, coach or anyone in the building working for us. We want them hungry, right? Hungry to always be improving. At the same time, humble as they go out. This is the ultimate team game. And so I think about those two, hungry and humble, as they go about approaching things. You want to have great teachers as a coach, right? They've got to be able to teach the game. But I feel like that only gets you so far unless you can deeply connect with the players. And that's what I think we've done a great job of these coaches, diving into the lives of the player, connecting on a deeper level than just the X's and O's side of it. So we want to have both of it, because you want X's and O's experts that deeply can connect with the player. They're going to learn better. And then connection falls right into recruiting too, right? Because you're building those relationships through all of that. So experts in their field, but can be a really good connector of young men, and that's what we kind of look for. And so far so good with the guys that we've been able to bring on.
Really good stuff, Coach. Thanks.
Appreciate it.
I mean, it really is a good group. You just feel good talking to all those guys.
Yeah, and again, you mentioned Rossi earlier. The guys had some expertise in this league, but again, staying aligned with how we want to approach things. And again, not so much like what kind of defense alignment schematically is like our approach, and how we evaluate, how we teach, how we treat, how we respond to things, if they're good or bad. Just an alignment, and that matters. And when you got such a big operation of multiple coaches, assistants, strength staff, training room, into the, I brought up social and nutrition. We got 118 on the roster. And so having that larger group staying aligned with an approach, and then you just give us a little bit of time, I think we're going to build some momentum and get this thing going.
I mean, that's an army you have.
Yeah. And that's why you got to hire some good people, because you can't oversee and, be in the weeds on everything that is going on, and feel really confident with those that I've surrounded myself with.
By the way, if you miss any MSU coaches shows, or you want to get back and hear or watch one again, look up Spartan Media Network anywhere to get your podcast. Well, Indiana's coming in, so how do we beat these guys?
Yeah, we got to play some quality football. These guys have, we've talked about it offensively and defensively. They've complemented each other. We got to do the same thing. We got to come out and get our crowd into it, so that is an advantage to us, right? And force those guys to play in a raucous place for 4 quarters. and again, slowing the offense down, a lot of that's going to come from if we can get them behind the sticks, and so trying to create a negative play, 2nd and 10s, not 2nd and 4s. And then on the flip side, offensively, keep with some momentum. We're moving the ball, find ways to get a little more explosive, get into the end zone, because I don't see this game being, a final of 10-7.
And so in terms of explosive plays, have they been good at that?
They've gotten, their fair share. And it's been not just receiver or the back. They got a nice run game and all of that. We've got to continue to go and find ways to get Marsh going and the explosive side of things, along with Montori and these two backs, and liking where those guys have continued to progress. We want to just continue to take a step.
Did you have a hunch how good Marsh was going to be?
First time kind of really working with him with spring ball, right? And this guy's a youngster right out of high school, but he had multiple flashes at that time. I'm like, this guy's going to be pretty good. You just didn't know how, on the mental maturity side, he is lights out. This is an old soul. He understands concepts, and the moment hasn't been too big for him in some of these big stages and stadiums and all that. He's not like one of these guys that's going to be good. He is good
right now, and he's very good. We'll be back with more of the Auto Owners Insurance Jonathan Smith Show after this on the Spartan Media Network.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Dad. Did you get a new haircut or something? A new shirt? You're looking good.
What happened?
A little fender bender?
How little?
A few days in the shop little, but thanks to Mom and our agent, we've already submitted a claim and can track the status right from the app. Auto Owners pays what they owe without any hassle.
Sounds like simple human sense.
I'm fine, by the way.
Oh, yeah, I was going to ask.
Ask your independent agent if Auto Owners make sense for you.
Hey, got one more, Labatt?
Yeah, here you go.
Yo, got one more?
Sure. Who are you?
Hey, have any more?
I'll take one.
Got another Labatt?
Got one more? How did you all get in my house?
Dude, door was open. Heard you had some Labatt.
Yeah, in the fridge.
Crack some Labatt, make some friends, and see where it takes you.
Always enjoy responsibly. Beer, Labatt USA, Buffalo, New York. All rights reserved. Labatt registered U.S. trademark of Labatt Brewing Company Limited.
Our lives are a collection of experiences, from fender benders and soggy basements to great joy and growing families. Sometimes life is unplanned. Knowing that your insurance provider is always close by offers comfort. At Farm Bureau Insurance, the experience you get with our local trusted advisors is different. From financial security to a helping hand, Farm Bureau understands the experience matters. Find an agent who can protect what matters to you.
Skill is a game changer. And when the doctors you know and trust team up with one of the nation's top health systems, the possibilities are endless. Sparrow is now University of Michigan Health Sparrow. So together, we can bring more specialized expertise, more of the latest treatments, and more of the best possible care closer to you. Discover what's possible at uofmhealthsparrow.org.
And welcome back to the Jonathan Smith Show, presented by Auto Owners Insurance. Don't forget Auto Owners Insurance, simple human sense. Ask your independent agent if Auto Owners make sense for you. Well, the Coach Jonathan Smith Show is hosted here every week at One North Kitchen and Bar in Lansing. At One North Kitchen and Bar, our menu is carefully crafted in a scratch kitchen to cater to all taste. Join us for all the MSU Coaches shows at our Lansing location and visit onenorthdining.com. I've never asked you this. Do you cook?
A little bit, on occasion when I get some time and do a little pasta. I like to barbecue on the grill. I experiment and trying different meats and all that. So that's my little contribution to the house at dinner.
That's not bad. That's not bad. And so a reminder that we will be taking there Saturday for the Indiana game. Like we said, the sun will be up. We take there with our Spartan kickoff show at 2:00, and we certainly hope you can join us for that. Well, the one thing I've not asked you, now that you have a handful of games under your Big Ten belt, is anything caught you by surprise?
I don't know about surprise, but it's been fun to be in some of these environments and playing against, I think about some of the coaches we've competed against so far. I go back to Coach France, and, that part has been excited to be a part of. that. I follow the league, and you see some of the matchups and all these different games, and there is some uniqueness with the 4 new teams and all of that. And so been building some new rivalries, but being part of the old rivalries. It is a competitive, but tough and fun, traditional and prideful conference to be a part of.
I saw you do one thing, and it was you did it early before anybody was on the field. I saw you walk out. Your guys were not yet doing the warm-ups, and you were just kind of scouting out the stadium. What were you thinking?
Well, first time being in the stadium, you're always kind of looking at the clocks and where the play clocks are, looking at the sideline, their sideline, those kind of things. Just seeing, you think about overtime, right? And so where the student section would be and where you'd want to play there. You try to feel out the wind, too, if that's going to be a factor in special teams. This was pretty early. We solve that oftentimes. We go out about 45 minutes before kick and do our pregame routine, and that's when you kind of solve the wind and field locations and stuff. But that's what I was kind of doing and moving around. It's a long time. We arrive a little more than 2 hours before a kick, and so you got a lot of time to, and it's just not great to sit in a small locker room for that amount of time.
So what did you guys do in there? I mean,
hey, full disclosure, I mean, when you got a game on or whatnot, I'll watch a game a little bit. You do meet with the officials beforehand, and so they come in, and I think that's at about the 90-minute mark. You always get with those guys, talk about anything in particular we want to talk about. They give you some reminders, talk some of the captains and rules and adjustments. So that's one thing that does take place pregame.
And so I know we have an off week coming up after the Indiana game. 2 off weeks in the season. Have you ever had that before?
Not a ton, right? It's been traditional to just have one. I think we'll approach the second one very similar to the way we did the first one. Actually was looking at it just today, with the off week. Some of the, other sports are kicking off here, right? Both basketball teams getting started, anxious to kind of follow them and hopefully having a great, successful year. Hockey getting going and all of that. And we're looking forward to not just this next week, but the next few months, being able to get out and support those guys.
So how busy will you be next week? Are you going to go on the road?
We'll do some recruiting, toward the end of the week, like we did the last buys, Thursday, Friday, get to see some high school games. I mean, in this state, playoffs are starting, and so try to get out and see a little of that. And it won't be just myself, multiple coaches going multiple places, because it's college football year in and year out. You got to continue to add to your roster, and there's some good players within driving distance around this joint.
So you're getting more comfortable in the Midwest?
Yeah, they get more and more, and just liking it. The passion for football, the type of people, and all that. Just confident that we can, if we go about our approach here, we can get something really special going here at Michigan State.
Well, I wish you luck Saturday. See you Saturday.
Yeah,
it'd be fun.
Good. 3:30 doesn't sound bad at all.
Doesn't sound bad at all. Let's hear it for Coach Jonathan Smith. And by the way, thanks to our show coordinator, Owen Cronin. Our on-site producer is Nick Chase, and our studio producer is Matt Landfair. Also, special thanks to Ben Flieger of Michigan State and Gage Dansby, as he is working on our live stream on social media. Like we said, we take the air Saturday from the stadium at 2. Hoping you join us for that. Thanks for listening.
The Auto Owners Insurance presentation of the Jonathan Smith Show has been brought to you by